it's great to be here at Comdex. It's a chance for us every year to get together and see all the change that's been taking place. And with this fast-moving industry, the pace of change has never been greater. In fact, we can find change everywhere today. And so it's really up to us to think, how do we want to take advantage of that? Of course, at the center of this will be the idea of digital convergence. That is, taking all the information, books, catalogs, shopping approaches, professional advice, art, movies, and taking those things in their digital form, ones and zeros, and being able to provide them on demand on a device looking like a TV, a small device you carry around, or what the PC will evolve into. All of these form factors will count, but we'll need to have a common architecture so we can take all the authoring, the work done to prepare this media, and make it easily available to people using these different devices. And so this is what we're reading about all the time with all the different stories. And the communications companies have to think about this because it is their future. Media companies from TV to cable to Hollywood studios need to get involved because it is their future. The consumer electronics industry is coming into this and will need to be one of the ones building these devices. And certainly for the PC industry, this is what it's all about. Lots of advances, lots of things that we can draw on to have growth in the years ahead. So even at 40 million units a year, we still have lots of frontiers to conquer and lots of impact. Now, this video I put together relates to the title of today's speech, which is Information at Your Fingertips 2005. I picked that year not because that's when you'll finally start to see these things happening. I picked it because I think that's a time frame where these devices will be pervasive, that people will expect them. There will be everyone using them. So small businesses, consumers of all types will have them, and the critical mass of information will be there to make them very straightforward to work with and get a lot of power out of. And so this 2005 is a decade away. I think there's a lot of people who are going to say that I've been too conservative here because, in fact, I'm not showing any technologies that need to be invented anew. Everything here you can find in some limited form already. Some people will criticize this as being too far out, too futuristic. And as long as I get a balance of people criticizing it equally on both counts, I'll feel like I've hit the right point. So let's go ahead and start the story that I prepared.
Not what you think. Mr. Blackwood just wants to talk to you. That's it.
Now you're going to keep this to yourself, aren't you?
Batista, skinny half and half.
Thank you.
And a macchiato, double full straight. Make it your belt. Ah, that's perfect.
Oh, no, allow me. You got the last one.
Yeah, that's right. I forget that.
There we go.
That's Laz. He wants to know why we're late.
He'll survive. I need my coffee.
No kidding. Coffee before work. Coffee. Let's go, Tim.
Oh, don't mind if I do.
So good of you two to join us.
There was a line.
Hey, McGowan.
Yeah?
Old lady tall.
Yeah.
I thought you were cutting back.
I am. It's half and half.
I'm never used to this time. Anyway, let's get going. Merchant Marine got whacked last night down at the docks. Victim's name, Alejandro Rivera. Peruvian passport. No apparent motive.
He obviously annoyed somebody.
Yeah, that'll be all for now.
We'll check it out. I'll call it up here on the map here.
Technologies we see here, wallet PCs, mobile displays.
Good to have you drop in.
Morning, Bill.
Hey guys, what's up?
Oh, you know, chasing the bad guys. Some things never change.
Well, I never promised the future would be neat and clean. Looks like you've got a tough one on your hands.
Yeah, could be.
Well, we gotta get going, Bill. See you later.
Don't forget, let's be careful out there.
Let's go.
Well, one thing we can see that hasn't changed between the Twin Peaks scenario I did 4 years ago and this one is that lots of people are still drinking coffee up in Seattle. Well, first we saw Becca, the policewoman, using her little wallet PC in order to buy the latte there. And so this little small business person who's got the coffee stand has a display, and she was simply able to push a few buttons and transfer currency over to them. We call it the wallet PC because it's capable of really replacing everything that you carry with you and more, so that getting messages, seeing the latest news, seeing different location, keeping track of your schedule, keeping hundreds of pictures of your children stored there, all of those things are easily possible with this kind of technology. Now here she used just the infrared to transfer the currency across using a secure protocol. And so it's easy to think of this as simply a grown-up pager that will cost only a few $100s, but using the latest chip and display technology will have the kind of power that she's showing here. The next thing we saw was the flat panel display in the vehicle. This means that mobile workers of all types will be able to collaborate together, call on expertise throughout the world, bring them up, and not just see their face, but look at information like the video we play here and data banks that will be at their disposal. The advance in display technology is a big part of this because in order to carry them around and use them in the way that we use paper today, they'll have to be small and light and very high resolution. One of the things we called up on this display was a map that let us see exactly where we were. You could see on this map the different police cars around the city, the traffic conditions, and a map will be pervasive in all these applications where you're seeking out a store or a hotel or a restaurant. You'll be able to get guided along the way in a very straightforward fashion. And so it's just one data type that people will be familiar with and they'll come to expect in all the interactions they have. Well, let's go back and see how this story unfolds.
Hi, honey. You been up long?
A little bit.
You had your breakfast?
Yeah, well, me, no.
Police have identified the victim as Alejandro Rivera, a Peruvian sailor whose ship docked in Seattle early yesterday morning. Rivera was
Aren't you supposed to be working on your report for world cultures?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is not it.
Yeah.
Turn it off. Thank you.
Sorry, nice look, Mom.
Oh, don't even start. I have a video conference later today. They can only see this.
Have a great evening. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.
Everyone keeps in touch by email, but some people have never actually met their closest confidant in person. Today, partners in cyberspace meet face-to-face for the very first time. Will their relationship survive human contact? We'll talk about it on today's Open.
Next.
It's November 14th, 2004. Welcome back to CBS This Morning. I'm Harry Smith.
Good morning. I'm Paula Zahn. This morning, the latest on the transition at the White House. We're going to be taking a close look at the president-elect's plans for the nation and learn why she says it is time for a change.
We'll also let you check out 2 hot new movies, and Mark McEwen's going to show us if it's going to be hot anywhere today.
Good morning. Sorry, Harry. Bad news. Not a pretty picture. I'll be back with the whole sad story for you in just a few minutes. Or click those buttons right now for my national forecast, or a look at your local weather.
Oh, come on. When does this project due, actually?
Tomorrow, 5th period.
Since I love you.
Jackson.
I know, but I work best under pressure.
You know, if you just learned to plan your time a little bit better, you wouldn't have to do everything
At the last minute, I know.
Right now, we're going to look at this morning's choices for you on CBS This Morning. An in-depth look at the incoming administration. Is the first husband in line for a cabinet
Seriously,
post?
Jackson, are you going to be able to get this done? On time? Yes.
Or our money editor, John Stair, takes you to a restaurant that is actually cheaper than eating at home. 10 generations
need something more.
match the extraordinary success.
Something real that the other
And
kids
see
can
what Gene
actually
Siskel
touch.
thinks of the new comedy, I'm Just Dead, or the interactive hit Jurassic Park 6.1.
For years now, you've heard me talk about ways to save money by doing things yourself. But when it comes to lunch in Yates Center, Kansas, you're much better off leaving it to Franny. Everyone wonders how she does it.
Yeah, like that. Cool.
She plans her week's menu around grocery store sales and stocks up when she gets a good price. She buys big quantities.
I need it.
Mom, I really need this thing for my project. I think it'll make it a lot better.
As long as the food won't spoil before you get to it. And most importantly,
What do you want?
I need you to drive me down to Pioneer Square today. Please?
Okay, 3 o'clock. No, 3:15. 3 o'clock, okay?
Well, here in the home, we see a couple different devices that have been incorporated. A little wall panel display, which, based on the icons down at the bottom, can be used to manage security, temperature, different lighting scenarios. And here, it's being done for lighting, and you can pick the particular activity you're going to go engage in and have all the lights the way that you want them. Over at the TV set, we saw that whenever you stop watching a show, you have a choice that you can come back and watch the rest of it later. You're no longer tied down to the particular schedule where that show comes out on. So it's not just movies, it's also music, any type of show, educational video, anything you want to do, you're in control. So we saw the last little minute of the late night show, and then we moved over and saw the personalized menu that has been set up for this user. Now, what she's done is said the show she's likes and the things she does very often, and put those onto her home page. And you can see that these different icons light up when a new show comes in. In fact, if you get behind multiple episodes, you could even have a count of the number of episodes that you haven't seen there. We had a special Oprah show there, and there was a chance, you may not have caught it, a little icon where you had a chance to send in a message and tell your story about meeting people in cyberspace. So here we're showing the kind of control that an individual will have over this system of setting it up so they only have to pay attention to what they're interested in. Next, as we got into the CBS News show, we saw how a producer of a show could use this flexibility. And so we worked with CBS to come up with some examples of how they would use buttons that you might click to go into depth on a particular story. Here we have things like the weather. Some people are really nuts hearing about the weather. Personally, I find it somewhat repetitious, and I'd rather skip over it. But there it is, it's an option. Take an area like sports. You might want to hear a lot more about your favorite sport, or just skip over the sports that you don't really care about. So it's the creators of the news information who have a lot of control in terms of giving you those buttons as well. Then over in the kitchen, we had Jackson browsing around out on the net trying to get his homework done at the last minute. And when he started out, he went up to essentially the library to find out about pre-Columbian art. And in fact, he traversed a lot of links in his exploration here. He went up to the local university, University of Washington. He went out to Library of Congress. And then he linked over and got down to a museum in Mexico, the Museo Nacional, that specializes in pre-Columbian art. Now we see here an ancestor of one of today's popular politicians, Ross Perot, and that's why it's called the Peru family. And so he's going to be interested in finding out where he can get a reproduction that's something like this. Now out on the network, there will be all sorts of third-party services to help you find what you want. You'll be able to get referrals from your friends. You'll have people that are the equivalent of Consumer Reports writing things up. You can hear from buyers of the similar product what they thought about it. All sorts of ways to be directed to what goes on. So in a sense, we're taking the very mechanism of the marketplace, the matching of buyers and sellers, and making it far more efficient. In this case, Jackson was choosing the proximity. How far was he willing to go? How much was he willing to pay? How similar did it have to be before he'd be interested in a particular choice? And it found for him a gallery down in downtown Seattle that he's going to be interested in going and buying a reproduction from. So let's go see what happens when he goes down there.
Go.
Let me get this. Here we go, here we go.
What is it?
Our dead friend, Rivera.
Yeah?
Guy was a smuggler. He was supposed to meet an FBI agent this morning. He was going to flip on his boss.
But somebody got to him first.
We better call DEA and see what they got.
Later. Let's check it out.
All right.
Then I'll handle the new shipment.
I'll take care of it. Customer.
Exquisite, isn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's all part of a collection of hundreds.
Oh, that's wonderful.
All authorized reproductions, of course. We can print any of them right here or download anything in the collection to your wall display at home.
Well, actually, I'm not the one doing the shopping today. It's my son. Jackson?
It's a little lighter and yours kind of come out.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Saw it in the directory.
Here's the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's it?
That's it. That's perfect.
Terrific.
Unfortunately, I sold my last one almost a week ago.
Oh.
It's hard to keep these things in stock.
Does the word discretion mean anything to you?
It's very important. It's for a school project. Could you refer us perhaps somewhere else?
Listen, I think we got a new shipment in this morning. Can't promise anything.
Okay.
Give me a minute.
Thank you. Put that back.
He's gonna love it.
I thought I did what you wanted. What you thought doesn't matter. What matters is that your little escapade was all over the morning news shows.
That'll be it?
Yeah, thanks. Mom? He's a little more than I expected. Could you squirt me a 20?
You're running a deficit here. You realize that?
Mom, I swear you can trust me this time.
I hope you get an A.
Yeah, me too.
Be careful, please.
Lim, did you take one of the new pieces?
I just sold it.
You sold it?
A witness saw a car leaving the scene in a hurry last night. Olds Aurora, silver, mid to late 90s.
Finally, something.
Washington plates, first letter D, possible L. That's all we got.
So you guys got a lead?
Gee, Bill.
Not much. We'll run a check, but...
You're going to end up with a lot of cars in that description.
Yeah. Well, we got our work cut out for us.
Some things never change.
Thanks, Bill.
Come on, partner. Let's go do some police work.
Yeah.
We saw on the wall of the gallery there a very nice display of art. And what this means is that art will be far more approachable than it is today. The ability to have this kind of passive display, have it in your home, and call up art of all types, learn about it, learn about the story behind it, I believe is going to make art more interesting to a broad range of people than it ever has been before. You'll be able to download the bits, and all of these creative works will be stored as objects. And with the object will be stored the information about what you have to pay to license it, to use it in different ways, or who you would contact if you want to get a broader set of rights. And so this kind of object approach is going to mean that creative people have a much broader market than they have today because the marginal cost of sending it across the network will be very low, and the opportunity there is quite dramatic. As we moved into the office, we saw on this rather cluttered desktop all the business information that this gallery owner deals with. He's got his employees, he's got his suppliers, he's got his sales plan. Actually, down at the bottom, he's got a little graph that shows how he's doing in sales. He's got a little icon that has his printer and his phone so he can control those things. He's got a little thing which is the layout of the gallery. And here we don't have any more running applications whatsoever. Instead of thinking of running applications, you just think of the data and the applications are brought in. We also have here very advanced feature long file names. I think in 10 years that will probably be commonplace. We also saw that from this device we could do video conferencing with somebody at a public phone booth. And these terminals will be everywhere. So wherever you find a payphone today, wherever you find an automatic teller machine, on the seat back in the plane, in your hotel room, many, many places you'll have a general purpose terminal to get directions, buy tickets, look at schedules, look at maps, perform banking transactions, or do the kind of video conference that we're showing here. And so it'll be out there, accessible wherever you go. Well, now let's see how Jackson is going to do on this little homework assignment.
Okay, people, take your seats, settle down. We've got a full day. Settle down now. Lila and Fred, get off the net. No more games. Come on. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Ballard, I do believe you are first. Mr. Ballard. I had a hardware problem. Okay, my report is on pre-Columbian art. We find this kind of art in Peru, where we study the Incas. Right there. I brought a replica of some of the art in the mask right there.
And there wasn't anything unusual besides a dead body. Thanks a lot. You really helped.
A nice place. A little short on deck chairs.
Yeah, and the pool needs cleaning. Hey, it's Laz. DEA's a dead end. The FBI came through, though. It wasn't drugs our friend Rivera was smuggling. Bingo.
Yeah, I threw this little presentation together for you guys. Kind of explains all this. And, well, let's just start it. I hope you have as much fun watching as I had putting it together. So, here we go. Most of what we know about this culture, we know about them from their art. So, this was an incredibly sophisticated civilization. And then one day, they just disappeared. Nobody really knows what happened. I mean, maybe they got hit by the plague. Or maybe the Incas dusted them. But they're gone. Kind of made me wonder where our civilization will be in a couple hundred years. That's it.
Very well done.
Thanks.
I guess it depends. Like, if you don't deal with it,
There he is. Piece of cake.
Can we just do this as discreetly as possible? I promise this will only take a moment. I just want to ask if there was any... Hey!
What you got, Daniel?
Hey, Dixie. Male pedestrian, 15 to 16, hit by a car. He's unconscious. Pupils look, make that semi-conscious. Champion, arm down. Pupils look okay. I heard some crepitus around the left clavicle. Slight local swelling.
Okay, I'll set up a scan on arrival. I need his EMR. Daniel, phone number, please?
You think you can tell me your phone number?
238.
1895.